Namo Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namidehi Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthayate Mohana Jaya Gurudev,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Jaya Jaya Srila
Haribol
Prabhupada,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Srila
Haribol
Prabhupada,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Srila Swami,
Haribol Krishna,
Ananda Paramahamsa,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Srila Swami,
Haribol Krishna,
Ananda Paramahamsa,
Jaya Jaya Srila Swarup, Ananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Srila Swarup, Ananda Paramahamsa.
So, the study program, I like to reiterate it again to recap. It is about having or being in a state of consciousness, of full awareness. Full awareness. When we speak of awareness, it is you, the person. So now, the reason we're struggling and we have this conditioning is because of how we are aware of our true transcendental essence and how we act or engage in activities that is inseparable from us, and if it's contaminated, polluted with material consideration, the disease, this false ego, then we have a problem. So I'll read here to Lord Krishna's care for us, His love for us, because every activities that we come to know about God's will, it's all about His love for us. When we speak of Lord Krishna telling us that He descended to this material world to establish religion, and that religion is what is spiritual, transcendental, Sat Chit Nanda, meaning transcendental wisdom and the experience of joy in harmony with the will of God. Loving someone, pleasing someone. So that's the whole program we're focusing on and engaging in. And the guidance is from Krishna himself. Okay? He gives us clarity. So I'll read this now so you can see. We can see our situation. Okay? The blessed Lord said, the modes of material nature. The modes of material nature. Huh? The blessed Lord said, again, I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection. So this is the wisdom. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature, which is like my own nature. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation, nor disturbed at the time of dissolution. So you see, the success, the goal, the achievement that Krishna wants us to achieve, His love for us, His care, He's telling us, guiding us. But how can we be focused? What we did a while ago, the yoga sound, the Sankirtan, we put ourselves in the environment that is descending God's inconceivable potency to purify us, to connect us with His will. So, in an absolute reality, meaning we put our lives in His hands. So the problem now we face is what He's discussing here. So you can check, analyze, gauge or, you assess, or what you say, you study, you compare your life prior to understanding this science, and you compare it now if you are applying it. But if you're not applying it, then now is opportunity to see our situation in clarity so we can make decision how to do the will of God. Okay? By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain the transcendental nature, which is like my own nature. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation, nor disturbed at the time of dissolution. So you can talk about two creation. You're in the body, and dissolution is when this body breaks down. But there's another dissolution when this material, when this universe, what you see here, comes to back to the Supreme Person at the time of dissolution. So two ways you can see it, understand it. So now you're in this body. This body is made out of material energy. Time will come, it will break down. The atoms that's making up the building blocks of this body will break down. The elements of earth, water, fire, air, ether will break down. Okay? Is it clear to you? The total material substance is called Brahman. It's the sort of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, so son of Bharata. So there's two energy, spiritual and material. So this material energy comes from Brahman, the effulgence of God. Here the environment is, what you see here, the environment is air. Yeah? In the spiritual world, the environment is the Brahman effulgence. And from Brahman effulgence, this material nature is impregnated. And we come here. That's why we have this body. So the source of this material nature is Brahman. So now let's discuss again how we are here in this world. Okay? The total material substance is called Brahman. Is the source of birth. And it is Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, so son of Bharata. So, this talking to his dear friend Arjuna, the son of great Maharaj Bharata, the descendant. Okay? It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. So Lord Krishna is the seed-giving father. So we come to this world, we are eternally fragmental parts of the Supreme Person, eternally the loving servant. But when we come to the point of doing our own will, we are given this opportunity to be in this world, to do our own will. Okay? Material nature consists of three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the living entity comes in contact with nature, he becomes conditioned by these modes. There's three modes of material nature that influence you. Like, for example, this glass is white. It's transparent. I can see you with clarity, magnified. But if the color of this glass is yellow, then I see everything as yellow. If the color is red, I see everything with my eyes, through my eyes, as red. Is it clear? Okay. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti. And because of this, one is bound for material fruitive activities. So when one is influenced by the mode of passion, lust, passionate, he focuses his activities and goals in this material world, wanting, trying to achieve the fruits of his actions. Meaning you want to taste the fruits of your action. You endeavor, you become a fruitive worker. What is a fruitive worker? Someone who engaged in activities, material activities, with a focus and a goal to taste the fruits of his action. Okay? It's about yourself. So you can check now, am I a fruitive worker? That's why when you come in contact with the science, this must be really clear to you that the relationship that is with harmony with God is not based upon this material contamination of a fruitive worker. It's about devotion, serving as the end itself. It is connecting our life, our whole being, in harmony with God's will. Psst, hey, don't disturb. Mommy, tell him to just sit in one place, okay? He roams around. His mind is driving him crazy ba? He cannot do. He doesn't know what to do. His senses. O son of Barata, the mode of ignorance causes the delusion of all living entities. The result of this mode is madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. So you identify with the gross body, and because of identifying with the gross body, you're suffering. And the effect is you're ignorant, you're lazy, indolence. And this habit of procrastinating, do things later. And not only that, when you experience the pain, because you identify with the source of pain, you think you're suffering. And you have this self-pity. So we'll discuss that later about how we can see and experience, when we experience this, how we can transcend, how we can be with wisdom. But I'll just narrate what is influencing all of us, okay? The mode of goodness condition ones to happiness. Passion conditions to the fruits of action, and ignorance to madness. Yeah, fruitive worker. So now, all of us here, where most of us are influenced by the mode of passion. We do something with the intent to taste the fruits of our activities, to taste what's being promised by the mind because of sense, perception, contemplation, and identification with what will make us happy, and the source and the venue is this body, this field of activity, and the venue is through trying to get the fruits, this world. You know, we want to engage in activities with the intent of getting something. It begins with sense perception, and then we contemplate, and when one contemplates, he acts upon it, and when he acts upon it, he tries to get it. When he gets it, he's not happy, he's frustrated, he's angry. When one is angry, one's intelligence is lost. An angry person, he cannot make correct decision. Why? Because an angry person doesn't mean he just curse or what. No. An angry person is he tries to find happiness. His love is now so much covered, and it has become lost because he identifies with the body, and he tries to focus to taste the fruits through his senses. He's a pretty worker. So you can check, all of us, we can see. But I will give now, after this, I'll give what will help us, what will transcend these modes, and how we should be seeing this material world and ourselves. Sometimes the mode of passion becomes prominent, defeating the mode of goodness. O son of Barata, and sometimes the mode of goodness defeats passion. And at other times, the mode of ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. Psst, hey, get out of here. Get out of here. Leave that. Get out of here. You're disturbing him. Why did you give that to him? No, I don't want him to return that, psst, return that. Psst, just go at the back. You cannot control your mind. Tao na to. O chief of the Baratas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, uncontrollable desire, hankering, and intense endeavor develops. So how does it begin? Through sense perception. When a person is contaminated with this material disease, he identifies himself as the body. So definitely, his focus now for happiness is through sensual enjoyment directed by the mind. And the desire, the promise to taste the fruits. And it differs according to the influence of the modes upon us. Some individuals, they are so much influenced with the mode of passion, so the taste they want is really, full of spices, And the other, in the mode of goodness, the influence upon his taste is he wants vegan, no salt whatsoever, really, in the mode of goodness, sweets like that, okay? But in the mode of ignorance, the taste buds, or what you want is, you're able to drink what is bitter and what is hot and toxic liquor, and it puts you in ignorance. Your senses becomes dull. In the mode of passion, your senses are, the libido, it's really, you want to experience the rhapsody of the the rhapsody, the taste, the flashes. But in the mode of goodness, you want peacefulness. You want calmness. You are able to sit down and experience the impersonal aspect of God, the nature, And you sit down in front of the mountain or in a forest or in front of the beach where it is calm and you see the beach, But some individuals, they want to experience more of goodness, but they're not really happy. They want to titillate their senses. They smoke marijuana and they look at the sunshine, while eating food. So it's a different modes influence affecting the living entity. Different degrees, like different spices, O son of Kuru, when there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, madness, illusion, inertia, and darkness are manifested. Madness, one becomes crazy. But it all points to one thing. When we're not able to direct the mind, we're not able to see where the enemy is. Lust, anger, and greed. That door leads to hell. And what is hell? A burning world. It's a burning jungle that you are not, the field of activity, this body is burning, directed by the senses of the mind. You cannot sit down and say no. Why? Because you have no connection with what is transcendental. It's cut off. You're influenced now by the three modes of material nature. So you ask this question, am I really free? How can I become free? So that is the path we are treading, we're practicing, we're engaging. Because when we understand this wisdom, we can now make a choice, decision, how we can be in the state of goodness and how we can use this material energy, this field of activity, the body we have, and what situation we're in, so we can connect it in devotion, in doing the will of God. That is the science we are learning and trying to engage in our daily lives. Okay? So I like to say something here that connects us with what we should be learning and understanding. So now you know the difference between matter and life, living and non-living, animate and inanimate. And you, the person, you're in this body made out of machine. What is eternal is you are transcendental, and the wisdom that is eternal, it's connected with your true transcendental position as eternally the loving servant of God, and the activities of the person, you, who is transcendental, should be rendering loving service to the Supreme Person. So now I'll tell you something that we can be guided with. In the series of Panisad, Instruction to Mankind, everything animate or inanimate that is within this universe is owned and controlled by God. Knowing well to whom they belong, one should only use the quota that is allotted to him. So now, the quota that is allotted to him. In the mode of passion, you are really, what you do, you're so passionate to get things, to follow the dictates of the mind and the senses. But with this understanding that everything belongs to God, I belong to God. My Father is a Supreme Person. Everything that's here. So in a truest, absolute sense, everything is inseparable from God. So what separates us? What separates us? This consciousness, this disease of we are in false ego and we are driven by lust. By lust. Because we now try to focus the search for happiness and fulfillment through this material world. And the center of our life is us. The search for happiness is stop here. Me. What I want. My will. Okay? So now, we should understand that there are laws here. The laws of karma, the laws of material nature, the three modes of material nature, the laws of time, the laws of gravity, everything. We are in a situation, we are under the laws. So meaning, we are not in control. So the reason I'm telling you this wisdom, so we can understand now how we can engage in activities. Activities. We have this body, we want to experience sense of touch, sense of seeing, sense of tasting, activities. We want to experience fulfillment. Because by nature, the living entity, us, we're active. When we leave this body breaks down. So now, when we engage in the process of purification, the holy names of God, we can now understand that we are the person inside this body. And this body is continually changing through metabolism. And there's a certain amount of energy in this world that continually change. And there are laws here, the laws of conservation of energy. What you see here, the same material energy being transformed into different forms. Just like previously, it came from the mines, metal. There's so many energies here, and we don't own it. We don't own it. So, with this wisdom of understanding that everything belongs to God, how can we connect? How can we use this material energy temporary in our possession? That is through the science of karma yoga, action in the service of God. Since everything belongs to God, I can use it now instead of trying to find fulfillment or shelter by trying to garner so many material things or try to all these building blocks that sooner or later the inevitable I have to face. What is that inevitable? It breaks down. I leave this body. All the things that I have put in the bank, the land, the house, the cars, everything, the cell phone, it will be taken away from me. So meaning I don't own it. But this consciousness of I own, you think you are the center, a rich man. That's why when Jesus Christ tells this person who approached him, Master, I want to follow you. And Jesus said, okay. He's a rich man. And he said, okay, give up everything that you have. So what did the rich man, oh, I'm gonna give up my shelter? And Jesus said, he said to his followers, it's impossible for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God than for a camel to enter the eye of a needle. How can it be done? The disciples are looking at Jesus. How can it be done? And Jesus Christ said, with man, it's not possible. But with God, it's possible. Why? God has inconceivable potencies. He's described as someone who is inside of everything and outside of everyone. He's our eternal Father. He's the source of everything that you see here. So now, what will connect us with Him? What will connect us? Because for so long, we're trying to make it, tell it bluntly, we are all thieves. Using God's property for our own enjoyment. Because it does not belong to us. That's why the third prayer of Lord Chaitanya is that one should chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, feeling himself lower than the straw in the street, more tolerant than the tree, and devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. So when you're in that state, you're able to see your true transcendental nature, the spirit soul. And how can you connect now with the Supreme Person? It is through the process that is given to us, the science of Bhakti Yoga. Devotion, when we speak of devotion, love. Our focus now, the endeavor we do, the activities we should be doing is to be in harmony with God's will. And what is God's will? It's when the living entity understand that, yes, I don't own anything. I'm eternally dependent upon God. But because of lust, because of the three modes of material nature, passion, this material contamination with our activities centered around ourselves, trying to play God, surrogate God, this false ego, thinking I am self-sufficient, I am the center, must be cut off to the root with this wisdom. That's why we have the study program, so we can be guided. It's not sentimental. You know what sentimental? Mental speculation. Hypothetical, you want to experience, something. But when you experience that, it's gone. Just like when you're watching the movie, it really sentimental, the husband goes to war, fight for the country, and the wife crying with all the children. You feel, then while eating popcorn, drinking soda pop, tears are gliding down on your eyes, in your face. So, kawawa naman. Then after that, you go out, okay, let's drink beer, You forget everything. It's just passing, that sentiment. So this science helps us through this wisdom. So what is a rich man? It is the consciousness that separates us from God. It is a consciousness we're thinking we own something. It's for our own enjoyment. We are fruitive workers. So that's why when we come in contact, supposedly, with the science or with the path that should be supposedly transcendental, connected with devotional service, or you join a certain group, what you call religiosity, faith. Your intent is you want to get something. You do something, you want to get something. It's all about you. You go to the house of worship because you want God to do your will. It's all about you. You want to be saved while you're doing everything on your own, but you want to be saved. You want to be saved while you're trying to play, Lord. And because, why do you approach God to be saved? Because you know you are not all-powerful. You need help. So that must become clear to us, and we must tread a path that is transcendental to this material contamination. And what is that all about? It is the science of pure devotional service. And how do we come to that point? By the process itself. So when Lord Krishna tells us, to those who are constantly devoted to me, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. So Lord Krishna tells us, if one offers me with love and devotion, a little fruit, a flower, a little water, I'll accept it, the devotion. So after understanding our true transcendental nature, our true transcendental position and function, we can now use this material energy to connect ourselves with God's love. I offer back what belongs to God. Although God doesn't need it because He's self-sufficient. But in that process, I engage in karma, but not karma what we are experiencing now, good or bad. It is a karma now. Karma, yoga, action in the service of God. That's why the process begins with hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, serving Krishna, surrendering Krishna. How do we do that? We use this body now and offer it back to God. We use this body, the mind, the intelligence as a garland to offer to God. It doesn't need, you don't need to, what can I offer to God? Everything belongs to Him. He's self-sufficient, doesn't need me. But I need Him because I'm not self-sufficient. So now, we must direct the mind because the sitting place of our disconnection with God is situated in the mind. It is the lust that must be purified. And how will it be purified? By God Himself, the Supreme Purifier, the Holy Name. That's why we do Japa Yoga, we engage in chanting, because prior to coming here, the conditioning has been the focus upon this world. Material sound had contaminated us because the sound we hear enters our ear, pollutes our heart. What we see enters our mind. It's all stored in the mind. It's like a database that even though you pass by, you see it, after a while it's there because the body comes from the three modes of material nature. So when you are engaged, when you're influenced by the mode of passion, you're really, the senses, follow the dictates of the senses. The desire, you're burning with desire. You cannot sit down. You cannot watch your mind. While sitting down, the mind will always be worrying. How I need that, I need this, you want this, I need this, I need this. Your world is how to get things. And you think, if I get this, I'll become happy. You're so passionate. So it begins with sense perception, this living entity. When you have no wisdom, through sense perception, you begin to contemplate. I want that because of the material conditioning, the modes of material nature. So the science free us from this, redirect our lives. We enter a world that is not touched by the three modes of material nature, even though this body is made of material nature, because we now understand, Aham Brahmasmi, I am. You realize Brahman realization. Brahman realization is understanding your true transcendental essence. You're not this body. You're not the mind. You can watch your intelligence. And how can I get out of this? It's like I'm in this spider web. How can I get out? How can I cut the anchor? How can I cut the shackles? It is through the mercy of God. To be in harmony with His will. And that will is about love and devotion. So the more we engage in this process of purification of the holy names of God, our devotion becomes stronger. Our affection for God becomes closer. Our lives now is in focus, in meditation. What we do, everything we do. How can I do? What will I do? Where will I go? what will I do with my life? It's centered around how can I be connected in doing the will of God and doing what is pleasing to Him. Now, we have this goal in life to connect ourselves how to please and love God. Because that is His instruction, that's why He comes here, and that is the blessing we have, this opportunity, transcendental opportunity wherein Lord Krishna, who is always with us, arranges it that we come in contact with this science through His pure loving servant. So we are not alone. We will be guided by a different energy, and that is pure devotional service, and it's connected with our heart, with our life, with the joy we're looking for. But we must become free from this material contamination, and with clarity, we can now direct our lives in doing the will of God by following the instruction of His loving servant. Very simple. So now, you don't see this world, this field of activity, the senses, the mind, as a venue for sucking happiness, but rather you are now in the state of consciousness of offering everything to God. But the effect will be an analogy I'll be giving you. If you water the root of the tree, all the leaves and branches will be nourished. You water the root of the tree, all the leaves and branches will be nourished. If you put to the stomach, the hand, this finger, the energy goes to the finger. But if there's a cake here, the hand would want to, the fingers would like to dip the finger and try to eat it. No way. But if you get that, you use the hand and get the food, put it in your mouth, it goes to the intestine, and it breaks down. Metabolism, cellular metabolism, the intake of food, that breaks down, goes around, and goes back to the finger, to the hand. So when we are in harmony in doing God's will, we now understand, I don't own anything. What is a rich man then that separates his consciousness from God? It is lordship. You think you're Lord. So you may have 100 pesos, you may have 200 pesos, the other person, relatively speaking, may be a billionaire, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to renounce matter, wealth. They're thinking, this person, who's this person? Karl Marx, he said, the root cause of evil is money. No. It is your consciousness of lordship, how you use money. You don't need to renounce everything. Because what do you do in salvation when you have this consciousness? You engage in fruitive activities. You feel degraded and sinful activities and reaction, and you're afraid now that you're lost. You want to be saved, And you're thinking, the activities I did, I have to renounce everything. Renounce money, everything. No. You don't need to renounce everything because you don't know. You don't own anything. What will you renounce? It belongs to someone. But this consciousness of lordship, this envy of trying to manipulate matter, must be very clear that it is what have distanced us, what did cut the knot or the thread that connects us with our relationship with God. It is the consciousness. Now, for example, you're walking, and then you see, a wallet. Wow, wallet. Nobody's around. Immediately you get it. You look, oh, there's $1,000. And there's an ID there. And then nobody sees, You get it. You throw the wallet. Just like when I travel, I go to the CR. You know what I find inside the CR? Wallets. But no more money because the pickpocket got it. So for so long, we have been thieves because of this consciousness of lordship. That must become purified. We belong to God. Everything comes from Him. He takes care of us. But we are not surrendered. We are not under His care. Because of this consciousness, we are separated. So that must be established now our true transcendental position to be dependent completely upon God, to do His will. So, rich man is someone who thinks he owns. And when you're so much contaminated by lust and the passion, then you get your loss. Because you'll be directed by a force that's so great that you lose your intelligence. Because you follow the dictates of the mind and follow it by trying to get the fruits, the enjoyment through the senses that supposedly you want satisfaction, and you end up frustrated because you're in a different world, a different energy, matter, and your life, and that is not your position, and you don't own anything. So now, in a truest sense, everything belongs to God. So why fear? The only fear, that's why there are criminals, there are thieves, because, because they're not in harmony with this transcendental consciousness of Satchit Ananda. They're not experiencing this happiness of loving the Supreme Person. But we have this opportunity now, in this lifetime now, while traveling in this world, inside this body, this machine, the driver, the focus should be what is pleasing to God. That is the reason we engage in this process to come to that point. And that is the goal of life. To be loving the Supreme Lord, to be situated in that consciousness of pure unalloyed devotional service guided by His loving representative. So now you can see, now you can check what separates you from God, this consciousness. Especially bodily identification. This disease, you think you're the body. Then naturally, if you think you're the body, the venue for happiness is through the senses. Huh? You use this field of activity now to be tasting the fruits. So you contemplate, engage in activities with what you see with your senses, with what you hear. Now you're really in the spider web. You're in a cocoon. Like in the womb, you cannot get out. So you can check now if you're suffering or you're unhappy with the consciousness you're having. You may be a rich man in consciousness and you're a thief trying to steal what's not yours. You're not in harmony with that world of loving devotion. Is it clear to you? So you can check it, all of you in our lives, you check. And not only that, we are always hunkering. We want refuge. We have no faith that Krishna will protect us. So when Jesus Christ, He gives the example, look at the lilies in the field, how beautiful they are with their blossoming flower. Look at the fowls in the air. Who protects them? Krishna. Now all of you have fear of death. You have, all of us, we have this fear of death. That's why you struggle for survival. But the living entity never dies. And there's another food that will connect him with what he's longing. It is his love directed upon doing the will of God. Now, if you want that world, that environment, that consciousness, we must be guided by God Himself and our spiritual master. So that opportunity is there for all of us. So it's now up to you to make this decision. Look at your lives, all of you here, and those who are listening. Now you can check. On one hand, I am a fruitive worker. I think I'm the Lord. I try to follow the dictates of my mind, the desire. I want to taste the fruits. I am the Lord of all I survey. The most important person is me, and my extended false ego. My wife, my son, my daughter. On the other hand, because of understanding the wisdom and chanting the holy names, you have now clarity. Now you can make a choice. Will you be getting out of the frying pan? You know, it's burning, it's hot. Will you jump to the fire? Or on one hand, you can get out of the frying pan. Haribol, namaste.
Namun sinusurupananda Paramam sanamine Gora Karuna Sarvaya Radha Krishna Krishnaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayana 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 Radha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gopata Krishna Everybody chant Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Haribol, Haribol Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Haribol, Haribol Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana 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 Jaya Govinda